Quickstep, as we all know, is an Ash of War that functions like an improved dodge. After dodging forward, pressing your light attack button will cause your character to follow up with a crouch attack. Inputting a light attack after quickstepping to the left, right, or backwards will cause your character to follow up with a backstep attack. Depending on your weapon, this can be incredibly useful or just okay. It's important to know what attack will come out after a quickstep for obvious reasons, but it's more important for your opponent to not know what attack is coming out after your quickstep. Let me show you how you can mix things up a bit. Quickstep allows you to store the follow-up attack of your first dash. Watch as I dash forward, then proceed to dash backwards immediately. My follow-up backstep attack that was supposed to come out has now been converted to a thrusting crouch attack. This is because the direction of your first dash will always take priority over the direction of the other dashes that follow. This will remain true all the way up to 9 consecutive quicksteps, although I don't recommend doing that. Moreover, we can use this little trick to deceive our opponents into thinking a backstep attack is coming out after our quickstep. This goes without saying, but the better your crouch and backstep attacks are, the more use you'll find out of this technique. I recommend rapiers and curved greatswords, but this is still possible with any infeasible weapon. Utilize this technique with reverse quickstepping to perform advancing backstep attacks and retreating crouch attacks. Since there are like a million tutorials on how to reverse quickstep, I'll just leave this here somewhere. Circle strafing in Dark Souls 3 was a highly effective way to hard counter vertical and thrusting attacks. Simply run behind your opponent during the startup frames of their attack and counter with a backstab. While still possible in Elden Ring, circle strafing isn't as potent as it used to be. This is due to the fact that every weapon is able to redirect 180 degrees in any direction just a few frames before the hitboxes become active. In short, the weapon tracking in Elden Ring is godlike. With all the opposition to backstabbing, stabbing people in the back still remains an immediate threat to anyone engaging in PvP. This is all thanks to Quickstep. Allow me to show you how to terrorize the Elden Ring player base with Quickstep backstabbing. The easiest way to do this is to first be as close to your opponent as possible. Next, wait for your opponent to attack. Then, use Quickstep and hold directly to the left or right. If done correctly, your character will Tokyo drift directly to the back of your opponent, setting you up for a backstab. Not every attack can be countered by a Quickstep backstab, but a lot of them can, if set up correctly. It's almost like a parry and riposte where you have to time your Quickstep depending on the weapon type and attack used. The fact that it's like a million times less committal is what makes it problematic. I've noticed that greatswords and colossal weapons are absolutely shredded by Quickstep backstabs. Their safest and least committal moves are hard punished by what seems like a guaranteed backstab. You are sure to find a lot of success using Quickstep backstabbing to counter jump attacks. I can hear the comments now. Jump attacks? The low startup, unpoisable, high damaging, low end lag advancing normals with lower body invincibility for most of the duration? They have a counter? Well, kind of. We can only really use Quickstep backstabbing when your opponent jumps in place. I'll show you an example. In this specific case, Gugs, or as some may know it as the Greatsword, is hard countered by stationary jump attacks due to having a moveset comprised of mainly horizontal attacks. Here, my opponent can be seen stuffing all of my approaches with well-timed jump attacks. Later into the match, after getting slapped in the face a couple times, my opponent purposefully whiffs an attack that has low end lag. They want me to try to punish their attack so they can yet again jump over my attack and counter me. I know that my opponent knows that I want to punish their attack. They countered most of my approaches flawlessly utilizing a stationary jump attack. Why not do it again? This is why. Here, Quickstep functions like a pseudo anti-air. It grants me enough invincibility to nullify my opponent's attack and lock them into a guaranteed backstab punish. You don't even really need to be good at the game, just fish for backstabs. If you miss, just retreat and try again. It doesn't really cost all that much FP. That's all of the useful information out of the way. If you don't want to hear my thoughts about Quickstep, feel free to click the vulgar kawaii VTuber clip that's in your recommended, you goddamn filthy bum. As great as Quickstep is, I think it's a little overpowered. Being able to nullify most of your opponent's offensive approaches and immediately reverse the situation with a backstab while suffering negligible repercussions is beyond overpowered to me. At intermediate levels of play, this creates a highly passive and slow-paced snooze fest in which both players wait for the other to attack so they can swoop in and, damn. This game really is Dark Souls 3 too. Apart from that, Quickstep completely outshines multiple Ashes of War in this game. Let's take the Stamp siblings for example. These two Ashes are designed to poise through attacks in order to strike back even harder. Most of the time, these attacks just miss because of the startup of the follow-ups are just too slow and telegraphed to land on anyone. The only time you will land Stamp is when your opponent A has their finger glued to their attack button, or B is using one of the incredibly niche Ashes of War that still have yet to receive an end lag reduction. Stamp is one of them. How about instead of tanking an attack so you can do a highly telegraphed follow-up attack that misses 90% of the time, why not iframe through the attack and punish with a guaranteed backstab? There is currently no reason to use Stamp over Quickstep unless you're trying to be a cornball like me and style on your opponent. I think a possible solution to this problem would be to reduce the iframes of Quickstep down to like 9. To supplement that, I would suggest giving the rest of the animation hyper armor and reduced absorption values. That way, players can still execute a circle backstab but run the risk of taking considerable damage if their timing is off. And that just about wraps it up. Hope this was helpful. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already. You aren't. It really does help me out a lot. Thanks for watching.